Ubisoft continues to fall down further and further into the abyss that they basically dig themselves. Their stocks are down, their numbers on SteamDB for Assassin's Creed Shadows continue to dwindle while other games continue to beat them for much less of a price and much more in player database and sold copies. And after that acquisition from Tencent for the new subsidiary, you have Ubisoft employees fear layoffs because the Tencent deal might just leave them without any stocks that they have bought in the company, rendering any investment that they have had as internal people without any price. And as it falls, it actually has taught us some very, very important lessons. Greetings ladies and gents, my name is Helzu, the bearded Balkan blabbermouth, and I am discussing, and today we are going to take another big and fat look on Ubisoft and how their almost inevitable downfall has taught us some very valuable lessons, both to us as creators, as people, and potentially to other companies that would probably try to go down their road in terms of marketing strategies and in terms of how they deal with their games. They have become a cautionary tale, and today we will look exactly what brought that in. But before that, I would urge you, if you enjoy my content, to click the join or subscribe buttons and become part of the DiscussThing Guild. You will help me very much with YouTube becoming my primary job, and you will help homeless animals and animals in shelters. There is a sort of an article on LinkedIn which was presented by SmashJT on his video, where he explored how people from Ubisoft and how the company itself paid for a lot of reviewers and streamers to review Assassin's Creed Shadows for a hefty amount of money. The overall price that came up was around $2.1 million paid to influencers to secure the launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which means that you essentially, as a company, Ubisoft, have employed influencers to do their bidding and say what they were told to say, which actually defeats the entire purpose of having a review on the game, much less having any honesty behind it. And I want to play this clip from SmashJT's video to give you a bit more of a example of what has been going on.
Scrolling down all the way down to top creators hired, and it says Ubisoft secured partnerships with a diverse range of high-profile creators, investing heavily in established gaming personalities across all major platforms.
So these are actually names of people who have been hired by Ubisoft and paid by Ubisoft to review the game and to get good reviews out. I will show you in the article itself. I will be linking both this article and SmashJT's video in the description below, so you can take a nosedive and get all the information. But essentially, these are some of the people: Hassan Abi, Ilo One, Your Rage Gaming, Low Tyler, Pay Money Wubby. Those are all people who have been paid around that amount of money that you see here. For Hassan, it was around $76,000 to stream Assassin's Creed Shadows and say what he has said about the game. This is not even a hidden information. This is something that is out there. It exists. It is not alleged at this point. And as you can see, a lot of other creators are getting a lot of money. These are not small amounts, at least for someone like me. Even the lowest one, who is the Jackson Field on TikTok, has received around $6,000. And keep in mind, these amounts can be much higher. They can also be lower. We don't know, but it is an estimate on how much they have received. The article also goes to say, looking at the top sponsored creations for Assassin's Creed Shadows, reveals Ubisoft's strategic approach to influencer selection. The campaign secured several marquee personalities commanding significant investments, with Hassan Abi and 1, leading the pack at over $70,000 each. This reflects Ubisoft's willingness to invest heavily in top-tier talent with massive engaged audiences. And yes, those are massive streamers with a lot of people looking at them, and the more people looking at them, what they do and what they promote, the more chances you would have to sell your game more and more. But that is the very end. It is an investment. It is something that they have paid a lot of money, 2.1 million again, to people to promote their game. This is how desperate Ubisoft have been to get their game out. They have paid a lot of money just so someone can say a good work. This is paid. This is not honest reviews. This is just trying to control the narrative, in my humble opinion. When you have people who are paid, who are employed, who are public figures to promote your brand, you basically say, okay, promote that and let people buy that brand. This is just like an advertisement on the television for a product. You don't know if the product is good or not, and you just have to rely on the brand. Again, this is not against any laws as far as I know, but in terms of a video game, which is a long-term time investment and money investment, it is very, in my humble opinion, deceptive as a practice, and it is just dishonest from a company that is trying to garner any sort of honor and respect back from its players. At the same time, you have games like Monster Hunter Wilds. This is another article from SmashJT.com, who says that Capcom embarrassed Ubisoft with real Monster Hunter Wilds sales numbers. Monster Hunter Wilds has already sold 10 million copies. This is not 10 million people playing. This is 10 million sold copies at a price of $69.99, and you have deluxe editions of $109.99. And when we go to the Steam DB page and go to the charts for Monster Hunter Wilds, you see that the peak players was 1,384 players with a current 225,000 24-hour peak. These are amazing numbers for a game that probably costs upwards to at least 200 million in my opinion, and they're on track to get all their money back and some more if they haven't already. Meanwhile, when we go to Street Shadows, we still see abysmal numbers. It has already fallen to number 11. Gamealytics says that around 560,000 copies were sold through Steam, and no matter what you see, and if you have watched my previous video, you would know that probably allegedly the cost of this game is over $500 million. So this is an entirely huge flop at the buyout from Tencent, and you know that this company is down in the gutter for the count. And it's normal. Ubisoft for years has had this anti-gamer policy and course of action. They just want to cash in on the money for a well-established brand, and they probably thought that Assassin's Creed Shadows will be just another thing people will gobble up. And if I have to be honest, if this was done 5 or 6 years ago, people would have probably gobbled it up, even with all the controversies. What difference made is that in the last few years, people have begun to wake up and to not just be mindless consumers. Even the normies, even the people who just want to have a game and don't care about internet drama, Gamergate, they don't care about that Yasuki is black and he's in the game. They just want to have an experience. They just want to smash things and just break stuff, kill people, have a good time in a game and immerse themselves. They don't generally care about anything that we talk about. Even they did not manage to secure the numbers needed for Assassin's Creed Shadows to be able to at least keep Ubisoft afloat. Don't kid yourself. Ubisoft is falling at a rate similar to a rock thrown at the sun. It's not going to recover from this. They already made a subsidiary with Tencent, something that they have been preparing for months before it was signed, and they just needed to see the financial reports to be able to securely say, yeah, let's do it. We know that you're failing and you cannot sustain yourself. And that's what happens. Tencent now has 25% of a new subsidiary, which includes Rainbow Six Siege, Assassin's Creed, franchises. Far Cry transferred there, and it will have more in the future, I'm absolutely sure, and it will also take over the entire company in a matter of several years. We'll get new games, we'll get Chinese games. When I was at Will of the Fans show on Sunday, we discussed this, that we will be getting more Assassin's Creed games, but they will be much more oriented towards the gamers, and whether or not it's good, it will at least be a better game under Chinese authority. And that's what's gonna happen with a lot of these studios, and that's why I said in the beginning of the video that Ubisoft has taught some lessons, but there are a lot of companies that need to learn them. And the lessons are the following: you don't pay for people to promote positively your game while the entire gaming community is screaming at you for your bad decisions and your disrespectful nature. You don't anger a country that you have your protagonist be there and your story be there while you preach that you're respectful to that culture and historically accurate. You don't dismiss gamers when they tell you what they want and what they don't want in a game, because gamers are ultimately the people and the crowd that is going to take your game and give you the money that you so desperately need. You don't lie to investors, and you face everything head on. You don't have a 2-hour long credit sequence for what is most probably a lot of people that don't deserve those credits and don't deserve to be paid for the game, because I am absolutely sure that they did absolutely nothing of significance on that game. And you most certainly don't try to silence all the angry voices, but instead make sure that they don't exist in the first place. And these lessons have to be learned from every Western company in order to avoid the similar fate of Ubisoft. If Western gaming developers do want to continue being AAA, do want to continue selling games, and do want to continue existing in this rapidly changing and reshaping gaming world with a lot of new companies rising, with the absolute domination of indie games as of, they will need to do what indie developers are currently doing: listen to gamers, listen to honest feedback, not to paid feedback. They need to turn their gaze once again, as they did in the beginning, towards the people who pay and who play their game. You're not going to get any profits if you go woke, if you try to pander to a small, skill, almost non-existent part of a gaming community that it's not actually gamers but they're activists. And you will not win money if you just insult your player base and your consumer base, because we might be consumers, but we also now have a voice, and that voice is getting louder and louder and louder. And until you decide to pander to us and have us in mind when you make your games, your studios one by one will continue to fall, and we will either play our backlog of thousands of games, or we'll just go for the indie developers that actually care about our needs. That's what you need to do. That's what's gonna happen if you don't do that, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did watch until now, if you enjoy my content, click the like and subscribe button. Click again the join button if you want to become part of the DiscussThing Guild and help me become a full-time YouTuber and provide you with much more content. Press the link down in the description for my Patreon page, where I also gather money for homeless animals and animals in shelters. Check out my community post to see what we are doing with helping animals, and also if you become a member, you get exclusive membership videos of animal rescue, animal feeding, and animal campaigns. Thank you very much for watching this video. My name is Helzo, this was DiscussThing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers and stay free.